is the year of St. Phoebe. When I first said this to somebody, they're like, is that a thing? And we're like, now it is. Right? We're saying it's a thing. Right? Pope Francis, the Synod, is inviting us to step into the full call of our baptismal authority, to be protagonists in the story and in the real history as it's unfolding in our church. What Doris and Laura gave witness to us today is the way the Amazonian Synod is restructuring and reshaping the church in a fundamental way. And that's the journey that's happening in a bigger way in this global synod. So what would it mean if you were to walk in the world over this next year like you were about Annie, you, Evil Navy, you, Carmencita, are part of changing the history of the Roman Catholic Church this year. Right now, we understand it's always a struggle. It's always a generational work. Right? So we understand to become a people of God is to be on a 40-year journey in the desert. And we're just at the beginning. And yet, what will it do to the choices you make, to the prayers you offer, to the commitments you make, the people you choose to relate to? If you imagine yourself as being a part of fundamentally changing something as core in the Roman Catholic Church as the ordination of women. Right? So the year of St. Phoebe, we're inviting everyone to go on a journey, to be open to how it unfolds. And at the heart of it is to really say we can't miss the moment to discern this question as a global church. We don't want to get to November of 2024 and not have the conversation. We want to use the opportunity of the Global Synod to discern in our own parish communities, in our own universities, in our own institutions. What's the Holy Spirit speaking to our community about this question around women and ministry? And to really hold space for a genuine discernment. I trust that if we speak with parousia, the boldness that Pope Francis calls us to in a synodal journey, and if we can be humble to listen to others, if we can practice empathy with our bishops and our priests, might be the hardest thing for some of us in the room. Real empathy for the challenges that they're carrying. And we can open up some fresh space of encounter along this path. So practically, we're going to hand this out right now, and you'll see it's a draft document. We hope that you all can be part of shaping how this year unfolds. But at the heart are a couple of key things. The first thing we want to do is pray with St. Phoebe. Let's get to know who she is. What does she have for us? And I have discovered so far that she's very powerful. And she's a little bit terrifying. So careful what you pray for, right? Because then she opens up ways, and then we have to take responsibility for stepping into the leadership we're being called to by her. But we want to pray to St. Phoebe, and we know that there is no synodality without spirituality, right? That it becomes empty and it becomes our own agenda. So along the way, we want to pray each month on the 3rd of the month and invite women, perhaps in this room, to step forward to help lead us and ground us in prayer as we're journeying together. So praying with St. Phoebe. We want to lead local discernment in our own institutions. So to continue to build on the synodal muscle that we're just starting to flex, right? We're just beginning to recover this fundamental reality of the church that's been kind of buried and forgotten. And it's a revolutionary reality. So we want to keep practicing that and accompanying each other in that work. And then part of what we do is we don't discern and then like sit on it, right? God's calling me to do this, but I'm just going to wait over here for a while. No, when we discern something, we're called to keep walking, to keep witnessing. So we want to invite people to bring their creativity and their imagination to a collective, creative, bold witness on September 3rd, the Feast of St. Phoebe, 2023. So it'll be about a month before the Synod gathers in Rome. And we want to bear witness to the fruits of our discernment. Perhaps that will mean a woman stepping in to preach. In many places, that already happens in our parishes. It's just something that's kind of on the down low. And what we're inviting to do is let's just normalize this. This happens already. What if we all did it at the same time, on the same day, out loud in public? It's already happening. We're just, again, bringing it out from invisibility and the blind spot into the light. And we're praying the words of St. Paul. Receive her. Receive her. We're not stepping out of the church in protest. We're stepping in to say, see our gifts. We're ready to serve. We're already here. And this community, it's not just like I feel like I was called. My community is with me. We as St. Thomas More Parish, we as Immaculate Conception Church, we as St. Joan of Arc have discerned, and we're ready. Pope Francis, if you were to open the doors, leaders of the Synod, if you were to open the doors, we're ready to receive women in the Lord as deacons in our midst. So you have this, we just wanted to start to float this. And as we're praying and journeying and going on these sacred places, humbly receiving what has been a 500-year struggle to really see who Guadalupe is, her significance, what she's communicating about a deeper wisdom that in a lot of ways the institutional church has hidden from view. How are we being called into a struggle?